Everybody thinks the sports card hobby is just about ripping packs and hitting big cards, but nobody talks about the deals that go wrong or the money you lose learning the game. This podcast isn't about hype or highlight reels. It's about the real side of the hobby. This is the Out of the Hobby Box podcast. I am your host, T. Wales. I'm here with the owner of B&B. Introduce yourself.
I'm Steven, a.k.a. Baby Stu or Stewie. And this is the podcast.
Let's go, man. Listen, this is episode 2. We hope you guys enjoyed episode 1. We are coming at you from all angles today, all right? So we've had a busy last couple weeks, which we're going to talk about here today for sure. But either way, we appreciate all of you guys listening to the last episode, and then obviously watching all the videos we put out on YouTube about the shows and stuff, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. Yes, all right. But before we get started again, we're still looking for any kind of sponsorship to help us out in this journey. So if you have a local business or you want your business highlighted on the podcast, we'd love to be able to do that for you. We'd love to put your little information right here at the top of the screen, shout you out and give you some love in every single one of our episodes. So if you are interested in sponsoring or helping us grow this podcast, hit us up, shoot us a DM. Just let us know, and we are more than happy to work with you. Anything else?
No, that covers the beginning.
A lot crisper and quicker of an intro than last week, for sure. So we're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about kind of what we've been doing the last week or so, right? We have had a super, super busy weekend in the shop. If you would have came by the shop 2 weeks ago and looked in the showcases, they would have been chopped full of cards. 3 rows deep in about 5 or 6 showcases. If you come by today, not the case, all right? We've sold, we've traded, we've negotiated,
sold again,
and sold again, yes, which is obviously the goal. But we just got done with the show, a really, really big show. Shout out to 757 Card Shows for putting on the biggest free card show on the East Coast, right? If not the country,
yes.
To be honest,
yes.
Russ and Phil and those guys do an absolutely amazing job. Over 250 vendors come out here, TCG, sports cards, anything that you can think of. So we're going to talk about that today, man. What did you think about the show this weekend?
As per usual, amazing. If not one of the best shows they've had. Again, 250 to 350 vendors there. You got TCG, you got sports, you got comics, toys, all kinds of stuff. It was amazing. I mean, from start to finish, from trade night on, it was electric. I mean, it's simply, they put on one of the best shows in the country, I think, especially that's free entry. Right. I mean, we're talking about no fees at all for anybody. Excuse me, guys, sorry. But it was amazing. I mean, from 9 to 4, we were at our booth selling the whole time. Yeah. I mean, it was nonstop.
Absolutely. The day for me, I mean, so just kind of give you guys an idea of what we kind of went through the week leading up to this. This is normally a 2-day show, right? Basically a 2.5 day show, we'll call it. We got trade night on Friday night, and all this happens at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. So Virginia Beach Fieldhouse, sorry, not the Sportsplex, but Virginia Beach Fieldhouse. If you want to sponsor us, shoot us a DM. We're more than happy to take that on. However, it starts on Friday night at the Fieldhouse with a wonderful trade show. I mean, so many people show up in that little area.
That in itself is like a small show.
It really is.
I mean, it's a social gathering for sure I think that was our biggest one, probably close to 200 people there, rolling in and out, free food, free drinks, nonstop. Again, we co-sponsor that with the 757 Card Show with Phil and Russ. I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I'm not even talking about, adults and kids. Like, it's everyone from, I've seen 3-year-olds all the way up to grandparents there, and it just blows my mind every time.
It's a great way for us, especially because we're so busy at the shop a lot of times that we don't get to get out and visit a lot of community events, as many as we have wanted to, which we're going to work on definitely in 2026. But it's a great way for us to just get out in the community and kind of meet everybody, right? We don't bring cards to the trade night because our main goal is really to get out to the community and meet everybody and say hi and, mingle and all that kind of stuff, right? And that's
we always leave with more cards, though. For some
absolutely. We're always buying. Don't get us wrong. We're always buying. But that's our main goal at the trade night is to show up, have a good time. In fact, we had a special guest at the trade show this past weekend, Army ATC.
That's right, Alex.
Alex, shout out to you. Very, very big, I don't want to say influencer, but very, very big, influencer in the hobby, right? He's great at what he does. But he came by this weekend. He set up at the show. He came by and hung out with us at the shop beforehand. Came to trade night, and we had a pizza eating contest where
he made sure that everyone stopped to know that we were doing that. And that was awesome.
Absolutely. Click the Linktree link below, guys. Our YouTube page is going to be attached to that. But if you guys go back a couple videos, you'll be able to see our trade night video there where we had 3 kids.
And I have to put this in there real quick because I thought it was the funniest thing. Go watch the video. But and since you do the editing, you will see that little kid. He maybe put too much cheese in his mouth, and it's not terrible, but I
left that in there for comedic purposes for sure.
I laughed so hard showing my buddies that video.
Yeah, but it was a great time, man. We gave away a UFC blaster for the winner of the pizza eating contest. Yep. We handed out some shirts and different tops things that we had to give out. So
shout out to Tops, thank you.
Yes, that was it was a very successful trade night to say the least. That all led up to Saturday.
The main event,
which I decided I don't know if it was the best decision, and maybe that's why I went to bed last night at 7:30 in the morning. But I chose to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. That's when my day started on Saturday to go to the shop and get the cards that we needed for the show. It was super early morning, but we got to the show, set up. Show started at 9, right, and by 8:30, I would say we had people at our table all day.
I think one of our biggest deals honestly started before the show even opened.
Yeah.
With Showtime, shout out to Showtime Sports Cards, and Chris Jr. and Senior, always doing big deals, always buying. Check them out there in Culpeper, Virginia. Just opened up a shop. We'll put them in our bio. But great guys, always buying, always easy to work with. But I mean, we did a $15,000 deal with them right off the rip. And it was easy. I mean, he pulls out what he wants. We go a little bit back and forth. I mean, and you'll see it in our YouTube video, but maybe a 15, 20-minute transaction for a larger 5K deal. So right off the rip, we were $15K and up. So, and
that's also part of building relationships over a long period of time, right? We talked about that a little bit on the last podcast. Building relationships is super, super important. So doing that and just having that trust between two different people, somebody that, we have a goal of selling, they have a goal of buying, be able to meet in the middle and make it work for both parties is huge. It makes those transactions a lot easier, right? We also had what was supposed to be a snowstorm happen on the East Coast, so they canceled the second day, which I think was the right decision because you never know what this weather's going to do, especially in Virginia. Today it could be 80, tomorrow it could be 22 and snowing and sleeting and all kinds of stuff. So
I think it made it good for Saturday too. I think that's what made it even more over the top is that people were like, wow, I have to get there Saturday. Sunday's already canceled. We need to be there Saturday, otherwise we're not getting a card show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Sundays are usually those lax days, relaxed. People sell a little bit. You got people going to church. I'm telling you what, when they heard this show was canceled on Sunday, everyone and their mother was there on Saturday.
Yeah,
nonstop.
They flocked in on Saturday, which is good for business for everybody. Everybody that I've talked to had an absolutely
and it was good
show.
To see people from out of the state. There was some repackers from out of the state. Like I saw a guy from Jersey that we met up with that we got his information. A couple guys from New York, Boston. I mean, they're traveling. Yeah. I mean, even like Mary Gamble came by and stopped by. She's traveling up the East Coast to come to these shows, to the show now. And like Army said, it's a premier if you have not done a 757 Fieldhouse card show, you need to put it on your map. You 100%. Need to put it on your schedule. And this isn't just because they're, local to us. This is honestly turning into one of the premier quarterly shows like a Shore Pump or some of those other shows in Ohio and Indiana and such. It is a premier stop. And in the summertime, why not come to Virginia Beach?
Absolutely.
Plenty of stuff to do.
Absolutely.
So get it on your books.
Yeah, that's one thing that I will say. I mean, I'm going to be the first advocate for this area. I love this area. I love what we create in this area. I love the minds in this area. But when it comes to the sports card shows, like there's nothing bigger or better that you can get in for absolutely nothing. Than the card show at the Fieldhouse that is brought to you by 757 Card Shows. It's absolutely amazing. And if you're an influencer, if you have any pull in this hobby at all and you're not here, you're missing out. I promise you.
And some of these guys that we'll touch on this really quick, but some influencers that want, to get paid just to come out to here. I understand the business side of it, but try to come out here on your own dime, and I promise you it'll be worth it. The content will be worth it. The deals will be worth it. The traffic will be worth it. Just trust me. Come out here on your own dime like some of these other guys have finally seen, and you will have a full weekend, Friday, Saturday, most of the time Sunday. And even if you come in on Thursday, come stop by the shops. There's multiple shops in Virginia Beach. I mean, Collectible Kings, Hero Sports Cards, B&B. That's just a couple of them, just a name within a 20-minute area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come down, make some content, do what you got to do for business, and come check out the show. It's a premier stop on the East Coast right now.
Absolutely. So there you have it. That's kind of what we've been into the last week or so. We actually have another show coming up again, sponsored by 757 Card Shows this weekend at the casino.
Their monthly one,
which is going to be a great time as well. But this kind of leads me into our first kind of topic that I want to talk about today.
Okay.
And it's the difference between some of these local shows that we have, right? And then bigger shows. So, for instance, like the National, the Dallas Card Show, Burbank, all those kind of big shows.
Yeah.
For us, I want to kind of express to the people the differences in those shows, right? Like if you are a local vendor, or if you're a vendor or if you're somebody that's trying to start a business, right? And you're like, man, I really want to get out to the National, or I really want to get out to Dallas, and I want to do this and I want to do that. Those shows are great to go to, but I kind of want to talk about the pros and the cons to both, right?
Sure.
So let's start with the buying side, right? Is it easier to buy at local shows, or is it easier to buy at these bigger shows where there's a lot more people?
Yeah, 1,000% that it's easier to buy, at least for us, at these smaller shows. Buying power definitely goes a lot further at these smaller shows. Once you get to the national level shows, everyone's got money to spend. Everyone's investing right now. People are carrying around bags of cash. I mean, it is what it is. But you go to these smaller shows, these 70 to 100 table shows, which are still great shows, but they're kind of in their own bubble, I would say. And they don't get out as much, which for us ends up being great. We go in there and what do you want for all this stuff,
Right.
So we'll go in there, and spend some money. But again, at the end of the day, spending a lot of money, turn and burn.
Yeah.
So spend the money, flip the cards, just snowball effect into it. So,
and that's another thing with some of these bigger shows, as far as the I guess buying is concerned, is the way that I look at things is there's a lot of people, a lot of repackers, which again we talked about on the last episode a little bit, that are really paying strong on this stuff, right?
Yeah.
For those of you who did not catch the last episode or do not know what a repacker is, a lot of times they are people in the hobby who will buy for some of the bigger breakers on Whatnot and Fanatics and things like that, who are paying really, really high percentages on cards and still able to make money Just the way that works. And that we can get into another episode exactly how that process works if you don't know. But they'll buy at 90 to 95% a lot of times on cards. So it's almost impossible for you to go to a show, a bigger show like Dallas or the National, stuff like that, and buy at a decent rate because there's so much competition out there for you as far as buying at a better percentage, right? Typically, you want to the better percentage you can buy at, the more of a discount or a deal that you can give somebody who might want to buy a card later down the road from you, right? Because you know that your margins are where they are. But these bigger shows, it's just more difficult to do that.
100%, and you hit it right on the nose. Like these repackers, they need the cards, so it's a supply and demand thing. At the end of the day, they're getting in there, they're paying strong. People can't turn down the percentages that they're offering. I mean, you got guys buying all the way up to sometimes 100%. Very rarely are they paying that strong, but if they need the card and the card is that rare, they will pay that money.
Yeah.
I mean, you got guys at like Arena Club and Backyard. They are so big now that they just need cards on cards on cards.
Yeah.
And which is great for, selling as a community. Like if you need to sell cards, they're buying. Yeah. They're buying strong. So make sure you have the right stuff.
Yeah, I mean that kind of leads me into where I wanted to go next. Is like if you do want to go to these big shows and you do want to experience what it's like to go to a Dallas or the National or Burbank or wherever it is that you want to go, look into being maybe a vendor. It's going to be relatively expensive to have a table at some of these shows, but at the end of the day, with the percentages that some of these people are paying on cards, you're normally going to make that up in no time at these shows.
And me and Steve have talked about this a million times. When we were doing Chantilly for the longest time.
Yeah, it's another one.
Chantilly, we would go, it's a 3 to 4 day event, but by day 0, we would have already sold to half or 2/3 of our inventory, and we haven't even set up yet.
Right.
Just because of the connections we've made, and they would call us and they would come to the hotel. We would comp stuff out and sell stuff, or we would do it at the show before even setting up. And so we got to the point where it was like, all right, why are we doing these big shows when the table costs and traveling and hotels are costing us so much? And it's cutting into our, because, you're not making $1 million off these cards. You're making your turn and burn. That we would just go to Chantilly, probably rent out or sell our table to someone. We'll meet up with somebody for a day and stay there for 1 day or a day and a half, do our deals, and then just get out of there and get back to the shop. Yeah. I mean, those shows are great for us to be selling at. Right. Buying, you're competing against guys that have infinite amount of money, which is fine, and then guys that are paying just way stronger. For us, we can't pay 95%.
Absolutely, and that's that's it in a nutshell, right? I think as far as these big shows are concerned, comparing what we do, here locally with the 757 card shows and what everybody does, kind of on a national level, it's different, right? And so yes, do we invite all of these wonderful people to come down to the 757 card shows? Yes, absolutely we do, because we want this place to get the exposure and the recognition that it deserves. And the amount of work that Russ and Phil and those guys put in is tremendous.
The growth is crazy.
And we want to see it continue to grow, right? Yeah. At the same time, us local vendors, it's just a much better environment for us to strive in, or to thrive in, rather.
And I would love to just touch on this one thing. We always talk about in the shop and everything, and with everyone. There's other vendors or other promoters out there in the area. I would love to just see more of a, everyone come together and just put on a mega show. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, Russ and Phil are already to the point where they're putting on a quarterly mega show.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you just had everyone on the same team and you made it a mega show.
Right.
Boom, mega.
We go out there to
people's pockets can only go so far. So you can't stretch them thin and have a show every single weekend. I mean, there is a show pretty much every weekend. You look now within an hour radius, but you guys got to remember, you cannot stretch everyone's dollar that much.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to try and figure out a way to condole everyone together and maybe have a every other weekend show, so that's just my opinion, and as I see it from a shop aspect and a buyer and a seller, it's just sometimes you gotta form together.
Yeah. Imagine, I mean, taking all the promoters that are, I know there's some promoters from outside of the, in the TCG world, which we're getting ready to get into here in just a second. It'll be a good transition, but they're coming into our space, which is, it's okay. It's giving us exposure and all that kind of stuff. But, they're now trying to do shows at the field house, right? They're doing shows at some similar locations that we're having. Imagine just all of them coming together and doing a show at like, the ODU, what used to be the Constant Center, right? Imagine just doing that on the showroom floor of the day.
Phil's talked about doing the convention center.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's expensive, but imagine getting to that level.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So, so let's transition to one of your favorite parts of the shop, right? It's sarcasm. It took them a while to get into this aspect of the business, but we got them there. And it's a part of our business that is thriving, that is really helping keep our shop where it is, and that's the TCG game, right? That's Pokemon, which is huge, and now the most recent thing, One Piece, right? If you guys haven't heard of One Piece, you're missing out. Okay, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Topps buyback program, but me personally, I had a couple Topps buybacks and spent it all on One Piece, right? That's what I did. But so I want to talk a little bit about that, right? In what is it? Maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago now, we had a couple Pokemon boxes in the shop.
Probably 0 2 years ago.
Yeah, but we didn't have any singles, right? We didn't have any raw singles, slab singles, none of that stuff. It was strictly sports cards.
I'll give you the chief answer here. Yeah. Okay, whatever camera I'm looking at. Okay. Chief would say, "Do you guys do any Nope.
That's it. Nope. No
Pokemon." And I wish a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, we would have said, yes, we are. Or let me figure this out. Yeah. And after about the 100th phone call in the shop of saying, are you guys doing Pokemon? I said, Steve, Chief, I think we should check into this Pokemon stuff.
Yeah. I remember we went to a show, and it was at the bingo hall, which is now no longer a thing, but it wasn't a very good show for us. Right, it was one of the worst shows that we've had in a while, and when we looked around at a majority of the tables, it was Pokemon, right? It was TCG, and everybody that I talked to in that space had an absolutely amazing show, crazy good show. And I remember Stewie and I had come back to the shop, and we kind of looked at each other and was like, if we don't get on board, we're going to be left behind, right? If we don't transition to at least getting some Pokemon in the shop, whether it's wax, singles, or both, we're going to be left in the dark, right? Sure. So credit to Stewie, because what he did is he hopped in his car and he drove up to Richmond and he found somebody that he trusted, and he spent almost $10,000 in just basically bought their table and brought it back to the shop. Right?
I went there trying to buy some sports, but knew my real mission was, I got to bring back Pokemon. And I brought back Pokemon. I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally came back with a 2-row box of slabs, raw, $300 cards, $2 cards. I mean, Chief looked at me like, all right, we're doing Pokemon now. And, like Tim said, it was either get on board or kick rocks.
Yeah.
And thank God we jumped on board.
Thank God we jumped on board. And now, shout out to Chief. He's even transitioned.
Yeah.
He's now.
He wants Pokemon.
He wants to go to people's storage units and pick out Pokemon. That's
shout out to Justin, right? He said he's going. And he still not sure what he's looking at, but he knows what sells.
Yeah.
He knows what sells.
He knows what we need in the shop on the shelves. He knows what boxes we need. And so, it's a big part of our business now. But one of the most difficult things that we deal with on a daily basis with Pokemon, and even we're starting to see a little bit with One Piece. One Piece has been pretty much on the rise, like Pokemon has been in the last year or so.
Yeah.
Pokemon started to calm down in the last 2 months or so, I would say, but TCG is on its way up. But one of the most difficult things that we've had to deal with is the fluctuation in pricing with some of this stuff, right? So I'll let Stewie speak to it a little bit, and I can kind of chime in as far as what I do as far as managing the shop on a day-to-day basis and what we see. But the changing of prices, right? It's not like sports cards where a lot of stuff stays relatively, unless somebody has a big game, right? Or somebody gets hurt, right? You don't see a drastic drop off or change. With Pokemon, Charizard can't, tear his ACL tomorrow or score 45 tomorrow, right? He's the same character no matter what. However, there's certain things that will affect the price of cards. And so how do we keep up with that kind of stuff? What's been difficult for us to keep up with some of these changes, and how do we kind of go about doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. In a card shop in general, whether it's Pokemon, sports, or anything that you're pricing, it's difficult to keep up with, especially when you don't have 20 people working there like a Walmart. It's
right.
Or hundreds, whatever. It's a daily thing that we have to look at, and that's why I always tell people when they look at cards in the showcase or anything, we'll work with them with whatever the market is at the time.
Absolutely.
But going back to the Pokemon side, it got so crazy for a little while that for example, we graded a card. It was like a $300 card when we looked it up. We put $300 on it. I swear to you not, it wasn't even the next day. I don't even think somebody came in and said, I'll take that card. We looked it up. It went up to like $550, $600.
Yeah.
Constant sales. It wasn't just like one random sale.
Sure.
And we were like, okay, we'll honor the price, take it, whatever. But we started getting to the point where we weren't even pricing our slabs. And we're still kind of to that point.
Yeah.
It's calmed down for sure a little bit, but we would just do a price check because the pricing was changing by day. It was almost like COVID. You could go from one table to the next.
Yeah, and just double your money almost, yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts. But again, if you ever come in the shop and you see a card and instead of being like, oh man, they're just overpriced, I'm not going to ask, we will work with you. Some cards have not gotten touched for a little while and get left in the showcase. So just always remember we can do a price check and work with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of just like he said. I mean, we've experienced that multiple times where people have come in and just snap called us on a price. And we've been in the shop so long dealing with sports cards that we know if somebody snap calls us on a price and just says, I'll take it at that.
Especially a regular.
It's probably underpriced.
Sure.
Right? Which, again, we're not the type of people that are like, well, actually, I need to change that sticker because it's priced wrong. No, we honor the sticker that's on it. You're going to get a good deal, and you're going to go on and sell that card and make money, and we're happy for you. But one thing that we've stopped doing with Pokemon is, like you said, we've stopped pricing the slabs for the most part. Now, when we go to shows, I'll sit down and I'll reprice the Pokemon. That way the prices are accurate. But when they're in the showcase, in the shop, it's just whatever the market value is, right? So you're going to come up to the showcase, you're going to say, how much is this card? And we're going to look it up together, and we're going to figure out a price, and we're going to go on about our day. But that's just the easiest way for us to do that is just to...
Things are always changing.
Absolutely.
And we only have so many... Like again, me and Tim do a lot of the pricing in shop, so it's, just the two of us, and we cannot keep up with every card. And I will say, if you come into the shop and you say, hey, and shout out to Zach for this, because he has done this especially when we were learning Pokemon.
Yeah.
Hey, check that one. You're too low or too high.
Yeah. Zach, by the way, is the one of the, I guess, co-owners of See It's Easy Sports Cards, which... Zach, we're looking for a sponsor.
Right here, bud.
If you guys
free
are
plug
interested,
right now,
there's a free plug waiting for you. We're giving you a free one now. Later, you got to pay for it. I'm just letting you know.
But a great friend and a great, he's been a customer with us.
Absolutely.
We do tons of deals with him on the regular. But he would come in and say, hey, man, I think you're too low or too high on this. And even Justin, too, would help us out with that. Instead of being like, oh, I'll buy that at that, we worked with him, and I'd rather someone come in the shop and tell us that, and I'll give them. I'll feel better about it than, people have come in and just, well, I want to buy all 5 of those at that price that you have it. All right, that's fine, but I don't appreciate your business anymore coming in. Right. So, and I'd rather work a deal with someone that's going to be honest and make more deals in the future than anything.
Or what about sometimes there's people that come in and they know the price is the card is a little higher and we have a sticker on it. Let's say, just give you a scenario. It's a $100 card that we have stickered, right? In the last 5 sales are $200, and then they say, "Can I get a deal on this $100 card?"
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Wait a second.
They're like, "Hey, will you take?
You got a deal?
Will you take $85.90 on this $100 sticker card?" I'm like, "Most likely, but let me double check to make sure it hasn't gone down at all."
Right.
I go and it's 200, 200, 200. Now I tell them, and there's been a few times when I'm like. Come on, bud.
You just got to listen. We understand everybody wants a deal. But, guys, we're going to give you some advice right now before we move on to the next topic. Whether it's Pokemon, sports, One Piece, Disney, whatever you see in the shop, if there's a good deal on a card, just take it. We're never going to change a sticker on you. Just take it. Don't ask for a deal on a card you know is more expensive.
Just be honest. Say, hey, I'm going to buy this. I think it's a little off price.
Yeah.
Can I take this at this price? Just take it.
We'll always work with you guys. Always, always, always. All right. So we've talked about everything that we have in the shop. We talked about our shows experiences this week. We got a show next week, obviously. The difference between big shows, local shows, and we got into the TCG world a little bit.
Sheesh.
So of all the things that we have, not only in our shop, but let's say you walk in any shop in the country, right? I'm going to give you a scenario here.
Okay.
You have $1,000. You just give you $1,000. I don't know who's rich enough just to throw $1,000 and just give it to somebody for free. It's certainly not me with my 6 children. But anyways, if somebody were to give you $1,000 and you could buy one thing in a card shop, what would it be?
Just one thing?
Just one thing in the entire card shop. It could be anything. I mean, listen, it's not that you have to have seen that card in the card shop. Just anything with $1,000. What would you buy?
Ooh. Stump me here. One item?
One item.
So, I mean, I'm a gambling man.
Yeah, you are.
So, I'm going for the wrong answer.
Okay.
To everyone out there. I'm going to take a shot at the most expensive box.
I don't blame you.
But if you want the investor side,
yeah, sure.
Stewie, you want the safe play, and this is, I'm not a financial advisor, quote right here. This is just my personal opinion. So I'm going for the most expensive box. However, I would go find, if they have vintage in there, like I said, if you go watch podcast 1, go buy the most expensive vintage card for $1,000 that you can. Go find that Mickey Mantle 1959 PSA 5.
Yeah.
And put it in a safety box.
Okay. That's fair.
What about you?
So I am not a gambling man.
That's a lie, but I will. I'll go on record.
Okay.
I've seen you play bubble craps lately.
Yeah, the bubble craps. You just run that up, baby. You run that bubble crap.
What did you say? Every time you add money?
Every time you add money, the dice are weighted. I promise you guys, every time you add money, the dice are weighted. I don't want to talk about that.
We're going to have to make a video.
Yeah, we're going to have to make, no, that's insane. All right.
$1,000.
So I am not a gambling man, okay, on record, except bubble craps, all right? And, but still, the way things are going right now, I am buying One Piece. I am 100% buying One Piece.
I don't disagree with you. I don't. But I'm very iffy. I'm not a big fan of the TCG stuff. Now, as a shop owner, I'm a fan of it.
Sure.
But I don't understand it. I'm starting to learn that people like the arts and everything. It's a show. I get it. I'm not a fan of the One Piece stuff. Now, as an investment side, I should have thought about that. One Piece, go buy an expensive box or, the expensive card. Or what, a manga?
Manga, yeah.
Manga, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's probably a good investment right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100%.
Or buy a raw one and grade it.
That's fair. That's fair. That's what I could do. But just like you, I want the thrill of opening a box. You know what I'm saying? I get that's the funnest part. Now, is it the most financially responsible decision ever? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you're looking to make money, don't open wax. If you're looking to have fun and you don't care about the $1,000 you were given because it was given to you by somebody else, by all means, I'm opening One Piece, right? There's so many big cards in each of the new sets that's come out that I feel like my odds are better than Bowman Draft or something like that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm having a blast right now opening One Piece. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and I don't. Every time I ask them, I'm like, "What'd you hit in your pack or two or 17?" I got a couple $10 cards.
Don't worry about it.
And I'm like, "Where?"
What I'm doing is I'm keeping all the big cards away from him because he wants to buy them. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Listen, if you got one piece, bring it in. Tim will gladly buy it and put it in the showcase. However, if I'm there or Steve's there,
just wait for me.
Just
wait for me. All right, let's move on to our my favorite segment of the whole show. This is the Out of the Hobby Box segment. I'm going to ask you a couple questions that may or may not have to do with the hobby itself.
No, okay. I like that.
What I want to know. Actually, let's start here. We'll start nice and simple.
Okay.
What is your biggest lesson that you've learned from opening and running a card shop? What's the biggest lesson, whether it's a life lesson or a lesson about whatever it is, what has owning a card shop taught you in the last couple of years?
I have learned a lot, especially growing in the shop as, a mid-20s to my almost 30 now, which is crazy. But I will tell you the biggest thing that I can tell people is networking and meeting people.
Yeah. It's very good.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much product you get, how much money you have, how much space you have in the shop. None of that matters if you don't have the networking with people. At the end of the day, like you said, our connections before the show. We're not doing those deals if we don't meet those people and stay connected with them and keep moving forward and keep making deals. You need to network and make those connections and not burn bridges. I mean, there's so many people in this hobby and community. You go on Instagram and see scammer, this person did that. That's not what this hobby's about. And Alex Army, again, is a big, about the hobby. And I love it because what he says is it's about the hobby. It's not about how much money you can always make money, right, in this world. Right. I've learned that if you can't make money nowadays, that's your own fault. I'm going to be honest, because I see people on TikTok selling rocks to people, reselling candy. I mean, I'm telling you, if you don't have a phone, I'm being serious.
If you try to resell me candy on TikTok, I'm blowing you up. I'm blowing your page. That's crazy.
Telling you, I scrolled through. This person was selling rocks. And
we're talking stones, guys. Okay, we're not
gems.
talking. We're talking. Gems. Yeah, we're talking stones.
I'm being so serious. But seriously,
oh man,
the connections and the friendships, the memories and stuff, it goes tenfold.
Absolutely.
You have to be making those connections.
Yeah, that's one thing that we'll always harp on as we're going through these episodes of this podcast is that, having these connections, making these friendships, it's the key to success in this business.
Yeah, I mean, not to be like that guy, but you got one life at it. So
yeah.
Why burn any bridges with people when, it's just not worth it.
Right.
It's not. I told someone at the show, they were having an argument with someone. I said, that guy's not worth it, man. If he needs to be out of your life, you knocking him out does you no good.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It just makes you look like a fool.
Yeah.
So make those connections, get those phone numbers, stay in touch with people, check in on them. Make that extra little phone call. Hey, how you doing? Everything okay? Family good? I'm telling you, it will go. I'd rather do a deal real quick at 82% of a deal than sell to this guy that I've never met before and he's just money grabbing at 88%.
Sure.
I just, and some people might be like, oh, you're so full of it saying that. But I'm so serious. I have not done deals with people and ignored them because they've burned me, talked to me wrong. I think they're a big shot, whatever it is. Just deal with the right people and you will be successful.
And on the flip side, we take care of those people that
100%
that we love and we cherish and that come and support us in everything that we do, whether it's watching a YouTube video or liking a comment or making a comment on anything that we're doing.
Or just saying, hey, I watched your podcast and I thought it was great, that part. If you do that, you will be successful. One of my buddies told me this a couple weeks ago, and it really hit me hard. He said, because I'll be honest, sometimes I personally think about the money a little bit too much. Because, as a shop, we're taking care of others, got to make sure things are paid for. So I do harp on that a little bit. But when he told me this, if you don't harp on the money so much, you will be more successful and make more money. It'll come. All that will come with time and the networking of friendships. It'll all flow.
It's great advice for sure. Great advice. No, that's fine. You're passionate about, your people, and that's good. All right, second thing. Yeah. Second out of the box subject here I want to go over. I know I have one. I'm going to share one that I think is my favorite, but I want maybe I'll share first. Okay. But that way you can have some time to think about it. But just a crazy shop story, right? Something that maybe nobody knows, nobody's heard, but just a crazy, maybe a customer or a scenario that happened. Or maybe the craziest shop story is what I'm about to share that nobody knows. And you could just agree with that. But for me, the craziest shop story that I've been involved in was my first day on the job. I knew that would get some laughs right away, but this was really my first time meeting Chief. And again, I was in the front showroom just pricing my cards at the little Pokemon table, minding my own business. Hey, Tim, welcome in. This is, getting introduced to everybody.
What can I do?
Yeah, what can I help anybody with? I'm just, again, as you know from the last podcast, I'm just getting my foot in the door. I'm trying to make myself as valuable as possible. Well, some boxes came in from UPS. It was a rainy day. The boxes were damaged, right? And they were, wet, and we were worried about the cards inside. It was some soccer cards, and I think it was Topps Chrome Soccer. And this is when the real Chief came out. My first day on the job, right? And already Chief, if you meet Chief, he's kind of I don't want to say a scary character, but he's intimidating a little bit, right? If for the first time, if you don't know him for who he is, he can be intimidating, right?
Heart of gold.
He could be brash, for sure.
He will keep it real.
Tell you like it is. Yeah. And so I was already a little bit intimidated by our introduction. And I said, man, maybe this guy doesn't like me like that. I don't know. But so he calls Damien and he's complaining about the boxes that are in the shop. And Damien, just basically, long story short, tells him, I don't know, figure it out, right? Like, it's not my problem. We got to figure it out. So Chief then proceeds to say, well, if it's not my problem, well, F this whole place, F this box, F all of it. And he throws the box of cards on the ground.
No, right? Not the box of cards.
The case.
Proceeded to chuck a case
of 12 boxes. Chrome Soccer. 12 boxes, a damaged case, onto the floor at my feet on my first day on the job. And I thought to myself, what have I got myself into, right? And so for me, that moment stands out as like one of the craziest moments that's happened in the shop, because it was my first day and I thought the rest of my career here was going to be full of blow-ups like that. And they haven't been. Don't get me wrong. That hasn't really happened again. I mean, everybody has their moments, but that to me was, for him to throw a 12-case hobby box on the ground and say, F it all.
Oh, he was done.
Was just amazing.
I thought that was the end of B&B.
My first day would happen to be the last day of B&B. You have anything else? Anything else that you want to share?
I've been really thinking. I mean, there's some funny stories, and we'll have to get to that one day. I mean, that's one of the top ones up there for sure, because, like you said, it was your first day, and Tim was like, and I've known Tim before the shop, and he's just like, is this really for me? Like, is this how it is every day? I really can't think of that's probably one of the top ones that I can think of right now. Like I said, people bump heads all the time. So I'll just say this real quick though. It was funny on your like first week of working as well. I think it was you, maybe Tom, but Tom definitely did this too. Somebody cut open a case that they shouldn't have.
That was me for sure. I did that.
So
I did that. And so to give you guys a background, there's some things that come in the shop that are meant to be sealed. That way, it's something that we won't necessarily sell in the shop, but we can resell it elsewhere to either get our money back and break even, or maybe make a little bit of money because we know it doesn't sell well in the shop. Well, me being green, I just thought everything that came in the shop was meant to be open.
Which was kind of my fault. I'll take blame for it too.
And I ripped it open, and it was actually a case meant for somebody else. I was supposed to go elsewhere, so I got, again.
But you want to know
I had to answer the chief for that one, too.
But did Chief ever tell you what he did? When we first bought the shop from Bob, he opened up a National Treasures case.
Oh, baby. That's not that. I didn't open National Treasures. I can give you that. At least I didn't do that. Chief,
I'll have to.
How about that, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't open National Treasures, huh?
There's a lot of behind the scenes that go on the shop, but there's a lot of great, again, making the memories. I told Steve this a million times because he's always saying he's older and blah, blah, blah. And I tell him to stop talking like that. But we cherish these memories and, look back now and just laugh. Because it's, me and Steve have blown up on each other before. And one time he threw away a bunch of penny sleeves.
Yeah.
And I said, are you kidding me? I said, I own that too, And then I steamed out of there. And he apologized, even though it was only a 49-cent thing.
Yeah, yeah. Things happen, man. We're all family. Obviously, like I said in the last episode, we argue like family. We bicker like family. We love each other like brothers as well. Guys, if y'all have any stories or anything that you guys want to share about your experiences in the shop that we didn't go over.
That'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Put it in the comments, man. Make a video if you want. Make a video of it and send it to us of you explaining it. And we'll put it on the podcast or on the YouTube show or something like that. But we want to hear your guys' feedback on everything that we talk about, especially the Out of the Hobby Box segment. That's one of my favorite. I like that. And again, I think for today, I think we're good, right? That's episode 2, guys. It's a wrap. Again, we appreciate everybody for watching, especially if you watch this far into the video. Yeah. Obviously, we're doing something right. We certainly appreciate it.
We love all the feedback.
Absolutely. There will be a Linktree link in the description below. If you click that Linktree link, it'll take you everywhere that you need to go as far as finding us on social media, our website, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that stuff. So just click that link. Make sure you click all the other links in the bio as well of the people that really support us and support the show that we're going to be including there also. And if you guys want to hear anything else in the future, let us know. Let us know what you guys want to hear on the podcast. We love your feedback, and we would love for you to tell us what you want to hear. That way we can talk about it. Because at the end of the day, we can talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
All we want. And we can do that. But we really want to tailor this to you guys and what you want to hear. Yep. So let us know. Shoot us a follow, like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. Hit all the algorithm things. It really helps us out. We appreciate it. This has been episode 2 of the Out of the Hobby Box podcast. We'll be back next time. Maybe we'll bring a special guest. You want to work on that?
Maybe
we'll bring somebody special on the pod to talk about something. So we'll see.
We got a couple of things worked up in our pockets.
Absolutely. Either way, episode 2, it's a wrap. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Peace.